Hey everyone, my name's Pupsker, and today we're going to talk about Borderlands 4 for a review. I have now beat the full story of the game, and I'm in Ultimate Vault Hunter 1. I have not gotten to Ultimate Vault Hunter Mode 5 yet, because this is going to be just like a playing through the story campaign general review, not like a 2,000 hours into the game review. But I am happy to report the game's good, okay? The story of Borderlands 4 was actually fun. The bosses and enemies and bad guys of Borderlands 4 were cool. The side stories and quests of Borderlands 4 were fun and interesting, goofy and stupid in a good way. They were enjoyable, right? The main cast of characters for Borderlands 4 all seem really good. As you can tell, I played through the game with Vex. I did a trouble build. I'm not going to show any, I think, spoilery content. I'm just going to try to show general background footage of fighting because I don't want to go over any of the story spoilers specifically, so don't worry about that. I will say one thing though, some goofy shenanigans as always happens near the end and it always annoys me, but I'll leave that up to your interpretation. If you've played that, you kind of maybe understand, but I don't know. I feel like the ending of any Borderlands game could be a little bit better, but I guess that's just me. Either way, the game is good. The only thing that I would say is really bad in the game is naturally performance issues. Starting off the game, I actually didn't really have much performance issues. The game lagged a bit here and there. Let's see, it crashed like 7 hours in on day one, but nothing terrible. As time went on, as I continued playing the game over the coming week of release, the performance got much worse as I unlocked more of the map, as I played through the game, did more quests, got more loot. The performance just continually got a little bit worse. So I'm not happy to announce that the game has like a memory loading issue, okay? It's very strange where the more of the map and the more of the whole game you unlock, I swear the more the game lags and the worse it loads everything in. I'd also recommend, because apparently there's somewhat of a memory leak, if you're playing the game, apparently you should restart every couple of hours. And by that, I mean like, I think people are saying just go to the main menu and then load back into your save. So like reset your save so that it reloads memory leak, unmemory leaks, and apparently unspawns all the weapons, stuff like that. So I don't know how true everything is. People are saying turning down volumetric fog, and even people downloaded mods to turn off volumetric fog, and apparently that helped a ton for performance. But there are a lot of issues that this game had on launch, and a lot of people have vented their frustrations online. This is an Unreal Engine 5 game, meaning it's unoptimized and overall probably runs like shit comparative to a lot of other games that aren't on Unreal 5. It's just how it is. Unreal is seemingly very unoptimized for how a lot of people are using it. Who knows? I don't know the secrets, the answers, or how to fix anything. I'm just a guy on the internet who's sad that the game runs like shit. And Randy Pitchford, everyone's mad at him because he keeps telling everyone, like, essentially, get good, you need a better PC. But people are mad on console too, and they're mad on every platform. So I don't know, man. It's all over the place, but performance is definitely the #1 issue. I had a lot of fun playing through the game as Vex with a trouble build, okay? I only wanted to go with trouble because I always like companion, friend, summon type builds, and Vex actually has 2 builds for summon generally. You can go with the one summon build where you are spawning like a necromancer. You spawn clones of yourself, you spawn reapers off dead enemies, really cool. And then Vex has the like trouble summons build where you spawn a kitty and that's your companion. I eventually have the kitty where it spawns clones, it shoots out the enemies, and I really enjoy it, but I'm not hardcore meta min-maxing to the best degree my build. I am doing a crit damage build with some elemental and ordnance damage. I could probably build defensively way more, but you know, who needs to build defensively if you just kill all the enemies, So, I don't know. I haven't perfected my build, but by the time I get level 50 endgame and I have a better setup, I'll probably perfect the build with better gear and whatnot, because we're going to try to collect a lot of endgame gear to have a lot of different builds, and you know, that's just how it is. By the way, it's recommended when you're playing through the story to take breaks in the main storyline, do some side quests and do some side leveling. Having played through the game, the enemies at the final boss and final area kind of maxed out at level 40. So I think like 40 to 42 is where the game somewhat expects you to finish off the game, okay? As you can see here, enemies are level unknown because they have like the red check mark, and some of them are level like 22 and 24, 23, which are much higher than my current level of like 19 or 20 or something, or maybe 21. So I just wanted to point that out. At this phase of the game, I was like pretty under leveled, and a lot of the missions for the bosses and like quest missions will bring the enemies down to your level. But if you're just like playing through the main story and you're at certain points, the enemies don't get brought down to your level. So you do have to do some side grinding, and I would totally recommend taking a look at the main side, or sorry, just side missions and like the side main faction missions in order to get some loot and do some side leveling. If you want to min-max it and do very fast leveling though, people prefer to take the like kill contracts. I know a lot of people did the save loading thing where they would, yeah, I know, great mechanics here. They would do the thing where they would save in and out of the game constantly looking for purple experience level contracts. I myself would just take kill contracts that I would usually come across naturally playing through the story or doing side missions for the area, and it would get me a good amount of XP while I'm killing enemies, doing side missions and stuff like that. But it's not really terrible to level in this game. I find it pretty enjoyable. When you create a second character after you fully beat the game though, you're gonna do the thing where you load in as a level 30 character, hasn't unlocked the map at anything, but you're level 30. So the new second character, I should say, experience could be better. I wish the map was unlocked for that character based on like universally across all your characters. I wish like there wasn't so many side missions I'd have to redo on side characters, but hey, it is what it is. Essentially, if you re-roll another character, you get them instantly to level 30, and I don't think you have to play through the main story mission, but you will still have to do all the side stuff and unlock the map entirely again, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. So, I don't know, I feel like the checkpoints, waypoints, and stuff could be unlocked, and then maybe like all of the side missions aren't unlocked, but I don't know, it's just a weird experience that I wanted to complain about. But that's after I beat the game. The game itself is great, there's a lot of good points about it, but there's some bad points. Like some of the guns, in my opinion, just feel terrible. I don't know about y'all, but the Order series of weapons where it charges up 5 shots and then shoots, I hate that style of weapon so much. It's only kind of good to me using it with snipers, and even then, I absolutely hate it. So yeah, you're gonna do the thing when you play this game where you'll probably find a lot of gun styles that you absolutely love and a lot of gun styles that you absolutely hate. So I would recommend just stick with the guns you like, find better versions of those style of guns, and just go from there. Because you don't want to overcommit yourself to a crappy gun that you really don't like, and it just makes the gameplay experience worse. So you can do whatever you want, but yeah, I probably wouldn't do that, okay? I probably wouldn't choose guns that you actively hate and it makes you regret playing the game. Because there's so many style of guns. I would definitely say try out different guns. Guns are good early game across anything. Like eventually you'll only want usually epic or legendary styled guns, but early game, the green uncommons and then the blue rares, those are a lot of the gear you want. You just want to get gear as soon as possible, as long as it's better than your current gear. And it's just like later on in the game where you'll start picking up. I pretty much used blue gear and guns up until end game, just because if I got a good blue and it did better DPS or it did better status damage for what I was looking for, heck yeah, I would stick with it. It's such a good like general idea. Or I would get an insane shotgun like status weapon like this. You bet your ass I would stick with it. I'm gonna throw on some footage now of us just doing side questing, leveling, and stuffs to get away from any potential main storyline spoilers. But I do like all the side missions in the game. The side characters for the side stories are really goofy and fun a lot of the times. I saw like the dunking guy, I can't remember his name, Chip Dunkins or something like that, where he dunked in like the previous Borderlands, froze in space, and now he dunked down on Earth. It was goofy as hell. There was a flat Kairoser side mission where his entire shtick was Kairos is flat. It's not a globe. I'm sure you're understanding the meme. So they have a ton of, as usual, like IRL goofy references like that. And I must say, it was a lot of fun playing through them, okay? Listening to the storylines of those side missions, it's a lot of fun. They're cute enough, they're goofy enough, and they're dumb enough where it's nice and enjoyable. One thing a lot of people don't fully love about this Borderlands is it is the least stylized Borderlands out of all of them. It looks like just like a modern day Unreal game. It's way less cel shaded noticeably, and it's much more like vibrant and colorful. So it looks like kind of a generic AAA, like, hey, it's shiny, it's bright type of game. But in other environments, when it's like cloudy, foggy, when it's lightning out, it does get darker, and some environments are more like dark and depressing and has very cool vibes. But I just know a lot of people have been complaining about how bright and vibrant the game is, and they're just like, it doesn't look like Borderlands anymore. So judge that as you will. I think the game still looks great, but I do agree it's lost a lot of its like Borderlands cel shaded stylized look for a more modern day Unreal Engine 5 graphics look. So I understand what people are talking about. It could be better, it could be worse, but it's definitely modern day Borderlands where we've hit the point where things are kind of just like samey here and there for a lot of games, and it is what it is. You might hate that, you might like that, and you might not mind, but it just seems to be how games in like Unreal is currently going. Just brighter, more vibrant games. Even if like you want darker, more emo areas, it's still like brighter and vibrant. But I still like the general environments and how it looked. I did like the darker, drearier areas and more of the interesting, let's say, synthwave looking areas that you eventually get to. You'll get there eventually, but the game, even though it does have just generic looking land, it does also have really cool biomes, so keep that in mind. Apart from that, the abilities of the characters, they seem to work really well, and I don't really have any problems there. All the guns, as long as you like them, they're really good. The story's good. The pacing can be a little bit weird here and there, especially at the end. I was bitching about this before, but once you beat the game at the end and kill the timekeeper, the sequence that happens after that for the next like 10 minutes is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and it seems like they shoehorned in some stupid stuff for the story that just, it's there more to set up maybe the future, but it's stupid. I don't find it fun or a good story beat, and I give that like lame as hell 0 out of 10. If you understand what I'm talking about, good, and if you don't, maybe you will understand, and maybe you enjoyed that part of the game if you know what I'm saying, but I don't know. I thought it was a little dumb. The sequence right after you beat the game, I thought that was so stupid, and it just seemed like it was a waste of my time, like that entire story sequence of that. Either way, I might just be a little crazy there, but I feel like that was actually the worst part of the Borderlands story, and it just made no sense why it was included as a story beat. So, hey, I said it, didn't like it, but the overall story was at least still good and very enjoyable. As an overall game, Borderlands 4, it's probably an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 for most people, as long as you don't have any performance issues, right? It's probably one of the best Borderlands games now. There's a lot to do, a lot of cool builds, guns, a lot of just general shenanigans, loot to farm, a lot of bosses. The bosses are pretty fun, enjoyable, and cool, like I said before. And like with all the other Borderlands, you can specifically farm the bosses for loot. You can do your like 1% legendary boss farms for the best gear. You can do all of that again. There's like shiny gear, pearlescence, I believe, are coming later on, and it's nice, okay? It has that grind for loot that everyone's been looking for. One of the nice things about Endgame is you can very easily, repeatedly farm bosses back to back to back to back, running the like Moxie Encore machine or like Big Moxie Encore machine. Yeah, you can just continually farm and run bosses, and it's really nice. Along with that, they also have like general weekly missions, like the weekly Maurice's Machine where you can get a free legendary. That's really cool. But I do have to say the weekly wildcard mission, it's essentially a endgame redone mission with modifiers. Last week's modifier was when you kill an enemy, they essentially spawn like the AoE voids that suck you in. Yeah, that was the least fun mission I've ever played because you just had to stay far away from enemies so they don't suck you in and kill you every time you kill them. It was not fun. I don't find those weekly wildcard modifier missions, at least the week 1, fun at all. I thought it was terrible and it felt like shit to play. So it's not perfect. That's why I'm giving this game like an 8 to 9 out of 10. It still has a lot of problems and optimization, but the game is really fun. The weapons and the characters, all of that's fun, but the end game could actually be better. The weekly modifier missions suck. The end game bosses are fun though. And the end game is essentially making different builds and collecting different loot and just having fun, right? That's usually what Borderlands is. It's like a live service game, but not. There's going to be a lot of updates, a lot of free shift codes that I keep posting online to get golden keys. Whenever Randy Pitchford chucks some up on Twitter, or whenever I notice some new ones, I throw them up on like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that. So, hey, hopefully all the free loot and stuff helps out there, but yeah, the game's going well. The end game, even though it could be better, getting all the free loot when I get level 50 from all the shift codes will definitely help out collecting a bunch of legendaries. So that's my general review, everyone. I am curious what everyone else thinks. I could probably yap about the game for another 20 minutes if I felt like it, 30 minutes, but I feel like we should cut it there. I just want you all to know the game is fun, the game is good, and if you don't want to buy it now, yeah, that's fine. No need to. You can always just go play older Borderlands. You can pick this game up later up on sale or anything like that. There's no rush or need to grab Borderlands unless you truly want to, but it's always up to you. Judge the game as you will. I have tens of hours of Borderlands 4 stream VODs up on YouTube, and if you want to judge it from that, go ahead. But that's my review, so let me know what you think. If you want to support the channel, you can always like the video, subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, join the YouTube membership, right? Check out any of the socials, and you can also use Epic Games creator code Pupsker, as I am an Epic partner. But I just want people to know Borderlands is fun, but it's not optimized, and you might run into a lot of lag. So that's the general TLDR at the end. But man, it's a good game, so I'm really enjoying my time with it. This, Silk Song, and all the other stuff that came out, it's a good month. So just try to enjoy games and have fun. I know a lot of people have been really sad and emo about this game because of how unoptimized it is and how much they hate Randy Pitchford, but like, dude, at the end of the day, fuck it, just enjoy games, and if you don't buy the game, enjoy the games you do own, right? Just have fun with life. That should hopefully be the idea. So thank you all for watching. Cheers.